Welcome to the Stats on Stats Pod, yeah.
Hey Jay, what's up? How are you?
What's up? What's good?
Hey, good morning.
It's still early in the morning, so if my voice start cracking, I got my breakfast tea here. I hope we'll fix that. But
Breakfast tea? Is it just tea? Because when I think breakfast, I think more than tea.
nah, it's just breakfast tea. That's it. I mix it up between tea and coffee. I love coffee, but like, I'm not trying to like get. I gotta brew everything here. I just boil some water, drop some tea in. I'm good.
Okay. He said it's early. Aren't you on the East Coast time?
Hey, we had.
It's early.
It's early. It's 11. Like it ain't PM yet. So.
That's fair. What does your picture say back there?
Oh yeah, it says "Love black people like you love black coffee."
I love that. I need one of those. That's cool.
My favorite comeback to that is people be like, "But I hate black coffee though." I was like, "Yeah, keep that same energy though." Like if you don't like me, just tell me. I don't.
Oh man, that's like what was we just saw a movie. Have you seen Sinners yet?
I'm gonna get flamed. No, I have not seen Sinners yet.
I
mean, it's all right.
We didn't see it until yesterday, so I mean.
No, what he just said reminded me of how he was like, Chicago's not any different than Mississippi other than tall buildings. So what he just said reminded me of that.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
All right. Okay, well, do you know what's about to happen before we get into the hard-hitting questions?
I mean, yeah, I've been warned. So
Yes, sir. So we're about to play That's My Jam 90s R&B edition. This music.
this is wow.
I love his reaction.
Wow.
That's why I still do it. It's for your all's reaction.
All right. So, is it done yet? Yeah. Okay. All right. So here are the rules. We're gonna play 4 covers. Mm-hmm. They're not the actual song. They're covers for copyright reasons. So 4 covers of 90s R&B songs. You have to guess the name of the artist or the name of the song. If you get both, it's a total flex, but I mean, you don't get extra points for it. And if you are ready to guess, you can say pause or you could just say it. Doesn't matter.
I feel like all I'm doing is like locking in unk status. Like, that's all this is. It's just like, how old are you? Like,
100%. So, and you get 2 guesses. So are you ready?
all right, let's go.
All right, song number 1, please.
See, first of all, I know these so-called players.
Meet me at the
wouldn't
altar.
tell you
Was that Jagged Edge?
Yep.
I'ma be real.
Look at that. Okay. He's off to
That's
a
easy.
strong
That was
start.
easy.
Must be that tea.
Kicking in, yeah.
He didn't even let it play.
He did. He had it.
First
All
couple
right.
notes.
That's good. Song number 2, please.
Heard about my past, things I used to do, the games I used to play, the girls that didn't last. I know what's on your mind. You think I'm doing wrong.
I don't know the
Can
song.
I say what is
Da 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 da. They don't know about this here. What song is that?
Oh, I'm the jealous ones.
You can stop playing it. I know what song it is. I just don't know the name of it. It's not jealousy or something like that. Dangs. I don't know the name of the song, but
You
I know
do.
the chorus is like, "Don't listen to what people say."
You know it. You already said it.
Is it jealousy?
No, you already said the name of the song.
Or they don't know about or something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
He got it.
Yeah.
He got it. But yeah, it was John B.
John B. Oh yeah. No, John B was never coming up. I was like,
I feel like he was like Justin Timberlake's inspiration, kind of. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. All right, song number 3.
See, I tried to hesitate. I didn't want to say what he told me. He said without me he couldn't make it through the
I've got
day
no
that
clue on this one.
Maybe
Let it
you
play.
misunderstood.
Listen
'Cause
to the
I can't
words.
see how he could want to change something that's so good. All my love is all it took.
that ride though.
Gianna is killing it. This
Someone trying to get that label signed.
What? I give you a hint. Brandy and Monica. Now you have to guess the song.
Oh my god. No, because wasn't it like Brandy and Monica were like beefing for a while and they did that song? It's not The Boy Is Mine or nothing.
It is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
What? I said he had to say the song because I gave him the artist. All right. Look, we got to be flexible. We got to start meeting people where they is.
Gotta start giving hints.
We got all right.
That was more like, that was just R&B trivia knowledge. That wasn't even like remembering the song.
All right.
I was like, what song did Monica and Brandy do together? They used to hate each other.
They did. So the song was perfect. But all right, song number 4, final song.
I'm thinking of you in my sleepless solitude tonight. If it's wrong to love you, woo, then my heart just won't let me be right. 'Cause I've drowned in you and I won't pull through without you by my side.
Dang,
Yes,
that was all she gave us?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know that one either. That one's who? Yeah,
Nick
who
Cannon
sings
fumbled
it?
the bag.
Nick Cannon. Wow. Okay, so we know it's Mariah Carey.
There we go. All right, he got 4.
We'll give it to you, man. We'll give it to you.
Look, like
Play
I
that
said,
again.
we gotta start meeting these tech people where they at, boy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he got 4 out of 4, sorta. It was more like.
It's like 3.5.
All right, cool. Well, we can go ahead and jump into the reason people actually come here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you already know the vibes, welcome back. I'm Jordan, a.k.a. Jay, a.k.a. The Chosen One, a.k.a. Big Stepper, and I'm here with my co-host.
I am Tiffany B. And as always, we're excited that you're here for an episode of the Stats on Stats podcast, where we get to speak to leaders in the cyber IT technology spaces. Speaking of those leaders, we're joined today with someone who's going to tell everyone who he is, what he does, and how long he's been in the space. So take it away.
What's up? I'm Jay Miller. I'm in the DevRel space, staff developer advocate. Kind of trying to move into that whole management thing. I've been in the Python space for over a decade now. I don't know when this is coming out, so I'm going to just throw out all my accolades. Python Software Foundation Fellow, Python Software Foundation Community Service Award member, like DSF, PSF. I run this community called Black Python Devs, trying to expand Python community assets, resources, and funds into communities of Black people around the world. We've represented conferences in the U.S., several different parts of Africa, and then we're trying to branch out into some of those other spots in Europe and South America now. So, yeah, that's it. I've known Jordan for like forever, but don't let her gaslight you into being like, oh, but he don't recognize me though. But it's fine.
He's won an NAACP award. BET.
I have not won an NAACP. I'm not even gonna start with the conversations I've had with like Nesby and like all them foundations. Y'all cool, but I mean y'all. I like how Jordan said y'all need to start meeting some people where they at.
Oh, by the way, he has known me for a while. We were both in the black ERG with the camera on, and I think we were even in X school together, and he had no clue.
We were in
who I
X
was.
school together?
Yes, and
Dang.
he had no clue who I was when I popped up at Render, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Jay." He's like, "Ah."
Here's the problem. See, when you do something like X school is at Elastic. That's like your first week or whatever. You're just happy to see another Black face. You're just like, you know what? There's more than one. I'm not the only one here. And then they got like a whole ERG. And then, yeah, I do remember you like doing a lot of stuff in the ERG, but also that was like 4 years later when I've got like headphones on. I'm at a conference. I got a talk coming up. And then Jordan's just like, oh, so you ain't going to say hi to nobody. I'm like, what do you like? Come on now.
All right, whatever. I'll give you a pass. It's fine. All right, so we have some fancy questions today, so I'm going to reference my iPad because we just be going on and on about nothing. All
That's
right.
fine. While she's doing that,
Damn.
She took over.
let's just go ahead and talk about your origin story anyway. So what sparked your interest in tech?
Honestly, that was like my grandfather. Like when I was a kid, I remember like my grandfather had this Gateway 2000 PC, and he was doing something with it. So he had it off the desk and on the floor, and it was already unscrewed. So at that point, I like just took the top off and I just started taking stuff out of it, just trying to figure out like, what does this do? What does this do? Yeah, he wasn't happy about that, but he did like walk me through what all the different computer components were and all that stuff, and then like made me put it back together. That took a little bit, but it was really cool getting to learn like, oh, there's this machine that does all this stuff, and he was into math, so he would do a bunch of mathematics and stuff, and I would see like mathematic equations. I knew about LaTeX before I knew it was called LaTeX, so I was just like, that's wild, and he always encouraged me to learn more and more. So like we're talking about like where I got started. I was like real young. I was really fortunate to be like a kid in the 90s that like had regular access to a computer. But then like professionally, I was always trying to like figure out. I graduated early. I graduated at like 17. I moved out at 17, and like I was just trying to survive. So I was in like my little studio apartment back when you could get a studio apartment for under $500 a month. Like what? I wish. But at that point, I was just like, what can I do to start working? And like the first tech job that I got was like optimizing photos for like an e-commerce platform from like some dude had some little website, whatever. He was paying me like, he's basically like, I'll pay you like 50 cents a photo. And like, there's like 10,000 photos or something. And at the time I'm just like, whatever, let me just like crop them in, do all this stuff, make it look right or whatever. So, I mean, I got a little bit of money from that. And then I went to like doing WordPress sites for people. I remember like, I thought I was like on when my high school principal's husband owned like this metalworking company, and I like flipped their website for him. And I was like, cool. I made my little like $2,000. I was like, yeah, like that's gonna cover my rent for a minute. And then I joined the military. In the military, I was a networking specialist. That's when it started making sense of like, okay, like you can actually do this professionally, like full-time career type stuff. Did my time in the military, got out, and then became a help desk admin. I was doing that for a while, moved into marketing, SEO, like not even SEO. It was more like e-commerce specialist was the title. I was doing SharePoint sites. Never want to go back to that. That's just the worst. And then a friend of mine was like, yo, you should get into DevRel. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And fast forward like 6 years later, here I am, like been doing the DevRel stuff for a minute. But I mean, yeah, it all came down to like just that curiosity level and just being like, oh, cool, I didn't know I could do that here. What else can I do? And just trying other stuff and just taking all those different experiences and adding them on, to each new thing to kind of come at things differently. I don't have a degree. It's kind of cool. I work at a company where like the two like top people, the two founders of the company don't have degrees either. They were like, yo, we could just do this instead of finishing school. And I was just like, yo, I'm tired of school. But I say that now, like you can't do that now though. Like go to school, get your education and all that. Like stay in school, kids, all that good stuff.
Yes, so you can get a job to pay off your student loans.
I don't even want to talk about my sister's in college right now, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I feel your pain. I mean, I don't feel your pain because they ain't coming for me with no student loan checks, but that's gotta suck.
I had a friend who was in the military, and like he got out, and he was just he wanted to go to an Ivy League school so bad, but the GI Bill only covers so much. And I think the school he went to is one of the most expensive schools in the U.S., actually. So he came out of college with $80,000 worth of debt, even after the GI Bill paid, and it took him years to finally get a job. Years.
I've thought about it now of like, is it even worth going back to school? And I'm just like, I feel like at this point I've been doing tech for like tech adjacent roles for 20 years now, and I've been doing DevRel specifically for like 6 going on 7 years. Like, I don't think, I'm not going to say that there's nothing that I could go to school and learn, but I don't think that there's anything that I could go to school and learn that I couldn't also just learn on the job. And I think I would learn it faster on the job than I would having to like sit through classes and do like the history of computing. And I'm just like, man, I don't need all that. Like, come on.
That's fair.
I would like to know if you could tell us a little bit more about DevRel, what it is, like what drew you to DevRel.
I mean, I can tell you what drew me to DevRel. Explaining DevRel to people, like people in DevRel don't know what DevRel is because it's different for every company. Like straight up, some people think that DevRel is just like, you're just a content creator for like on behalf of a company. I like to think it's a little bit more than that. I actually like to think it's a lot bit more than that. I think that's like the smallest part of what I do. What got me into DevRel was originally I wanted a career in tech that played to my skills. I've been podcasting for forever. Like, I think I just celebrated like 10, 11, 12 years of podcasting, something like that. I started podcasting in 2014. So yeah, 11 years. And I knew that I could talk to people. I knew that I could have conversations with people. A lot of what I did to move up in my career in general IT was just like talking to sales reps, talking to department heads, making sure that like I was taking care of their people. And DevRel to me is really just that. It's taking care of the people. Like, if you're at a conference, you're taking care of the people that you see at these events left and right. You're doing it on behalf of the company, but like you're taking care of them. Like, oh, hey, I'm not going to just tell you to come use our product. I'm going to say like, what problems do you have? And sure, if our product can like solve one of those problems, we can talk about it. But ultimately, like, I've gotten more people to sign up for a product just being like, oh, you trying to learn how to do this, this, and this. Well, we can't really do that, but I know somebody over here that can help you. And by the way, if you decide that you want to do something like this, then give me a call and like I'll walk you through it. Doing that, but also doing it internally too. Like understanding what our engineers want. Who do our engineers want feedback from? And like finding those people and really just connecting the dots. Like this person over here wants someone like that person over there. Let me get them in touch with them and sit them down and like have a conversation. And sometimes I have to facilitate that conversation. Jordan and I were talking about like the Black ERG. Like that was one of the most fun moments. You remember the it was Black History Month interview that I did? That was dope because that was like meeting people in cybersecurity. Like cybersecurity is very, very like foreign to me. I'm like, y'all smart. Y'all know how to like break into stuff and keep other people from breaking into stuff. Like I'm going to call y'all when I got problems. Like, I know that's not a skill set that I have. And being able to meet, like, just Black professionals in that space, being able to work with them, figure out, their journey and their things like that, and being able to, like, not just inspire people from within the company, but connect them with resources outside the company and be like, okay, cool, there is this Black community. There is, like, what is it, like, not Bit Cyber, but there's like the Afro or the Black girls in cyber and like things like that are just like doing super awesome things. And sometimes they see each other from across the room, but they don't have a good like connection point. And like anytime that I can be a connection point like that, dope. Just ask me and like I'm available to do that. And sometimes companies are like, you're too much community, not enough company. And I'm just like, look, if the community disappears, the company goes with it. So let me make sure they're straight, and then I'll come back for the company. The company's fine; they got money. Half the community's looking for a job. Let me figure that part out, and help everyone out.
That was a bar. That was a bar. You should stick that on a T-shirt in the background. If the community goes,
the company goes with it.
The company goes with it. That was a bar.
Okay, so you've built bridges, right, in terms of what you're doing in open source, corporate tech, and grassroots organizations. So what's one lesson from each of those worlds that you think every Black technologists should carry with them?
One, know someone like Tiffany that can make you sound like way better than like what you really are. Because I need Tiffany to write my bio. Like, connecting bridges and grassroots organizations. Like, what? All I did was, I told someone this yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple weeks ago in Chicago, at PG Day Chicago. I just basically did stuff, and then people were like, oh, good job doing that thing. And why? And I'm just like, what do you mean, good job? Why did no one else do it? And they're like, well, why did you do it? I was like, because no one told me I couldn't. Like, I was just like, why are we not doing this thing already? And then someone was like, I don't know. And then I was like, well, let's just do it. I think that there's a lot of like, but we got to follow the rules. And I mean, I live in Atlanta. Like, we got enough bougie black people around here to tell you there's rules that you got to follow. And, you know, you can't do this and you can't do that. You got to dress a certain way. You got to act a certain way. You got to eat at certain places. And I'm just like, man, I grew up in the sticks. Like, I ain't got time for none of that. Like, I grew up in them areas that like everybody wanted to be an athlete so that they could like pay their mom's house off. Like, that's all it is. Like, it wasn't about self-preservation. It's about like keeping your family good. And I feel like the advice that I would give someone now is like, do the thing that's most important to you. Because Jordan's here, I'm thinking a lot about like my career at Elastic. And like, we had a guy in the community that, I'm not going to shout him out. I mean, I'll shout him out, but I'm not going to say his name. He lived in like Mobile, Alabama. And he was like dope. I was like, dude, we got to get this guy hired, like get him on like a tech salary. Like he'll be good. Like, especially because Elastic was just like, we're just going to pay you what we think, you know, what we want to pay you. There wasn't really like oh, you live here, so we're going to pay you this. And I was just like, dang, like living in Mobile, making like Bay Area money, you be set. And he was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, what do you mean you're good? Like, you work at a regional bank, sir. Like, come on, I need you to step this up. Like I'm trying to help you, like generational wealth and all that. And he's just like, I see the stress that y'all deal with. I see the amount of travel y'all go through and all that stuff. He's like, I'm just here taking care of my family. Like, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm having fun learning. And like, I think about that to this day. I talked to him late last year and we just caught up, and he's like, he ain't at the same job now. He moved up a little bit, but I was just sitting there thinking like, man, that really put a lot of things into perspective for me, where I was like, I'm just trying to make it. I'm trying to go from like 60,000 to 100,000, from 100,000 to 200,000, like half, like, you know, how do I keep making that number go up? And he's just like, I'm living good. I'm happy. My family's happy. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm spending time with my folks. Like, don't let the industry, don't let the chase, don't let the grind take away from like what is important to you. Focus on that, and then just keep doing what you're doing. You probably know what you should be doing. Just keep doing it. And if someone tells you can't, tell them to shut up. Like, keep doing it anyway. You know?
I was just at the doctor, and she's like, what would you consider to be the most important thing to you? And my first answer was money. But of course, I said family. So
yeah.
you just
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
Podcast is over for today. This is
see, but that's real though. Like, I know I made my last move. My last move did not make sense on paper. Like, it was a lot more like daily salary wise, but in terms of like being set up for retirement, in terms of like longevity, like I could have stayed at like Microsoft, and everybody would have been like, cool, you know, dope, whatever. And I could have just done the thing and played the part. But at the end of the day, like when my boss was like, why are you wanting to make this move? And I was like, look, I want your job. And you don't want to go. Like, you don't want to leave. So
Period.
Like, I got to get the skills to get your job, you know, somewhere. So, you know, when a company comes in, and like the conversation that I had at Ivan, like when I started there, it was like, we're trying to build this team out, and we want you to be responsible for the US side of it. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, cool. I'm gaining the skills to get into the position and the job that I want. And like a lot of people were like, oh, but the money looks good too, and all this. So I was like, it's really not about the money. Like the money will get there, but I can definitely understand how, we have a lot of folks in Africa, and they're just like, yeah, money would be great right now. Like money would be dope. Like family dynamics, how you take care of your family is completely different. Cultural differences, things like that. I know a lot of people. I used to live in San Diego, so like I knew a lot of people who. You lived in one house, your parents live right next door, and then like your cousins live like a couple of blocks down, and like y'all always ate dinner together. Like that's just the culture. Like people got together, people hung out, people took care of one another. You went grocery shopping collectively and just like cooked everything. And it's not like a wild thing. It's just things are different for different people at different parts of their life. Once I had a kid, for me, it was like, I want my kid to be set. Like I want my daughter to not have hundreds of thousands of dollars in like student loan debt. But I also don't want to be traveling every single week so that I don't get to watch her grow up. So, there's nothing wrong with money being the answer. It's just that answer might change over time. And if it does, then cool, make a move, do something different. But don't let nobody like sit there and give you like grief because your reasons for doing something is your reasons. Like, nah, forget that.
Well, I mean, she was like, look, here's, look, this
Sounds like you got an internal struggle going on right now.
I do, because she's like, what's the most important thing to you? And then she goes, because I paused, I'm thinking about it, but I already know my answer. But then she's like, some people say feeding the hungry. Some people say world peace. Some
and they're
people
lying.
say their relationship with God. So I was like, family for sure.
I mean,
sorry.
but sometimes taking care of family is making sure you're financially equipped to do so. So
I like this guy. That was a good spin. Tiffany's like, whoa.
Nobody's buying that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Can I ask this question?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. There's a question on here that I really want to ask, and it says, take us back to, apparently you went to a PyCon, and it says, take us back to that PyCon where you were one of 12 Black developers in a sea of thousands. What did that moment reveal to you about visibility, and how did it spark the idea for Black Python devs?
before I say this, I'm not taking shots at anybody. All right, I'm just calling it how I see it. And like that's the only way that I can call it. I love the Python community. Like, since day one, getting involved in the community was like, it always felt like, we want you here. We want you to feel like you belong. We want you to feel welcome. We're your friends. Some of the folks that I've known the longest in Python, like I got invited to weddings. I see them several times a year and we catch up like we haven't missed a beat. Have a friend that lives in like Israel right now, and I'm just like, fam, y'all good? Like, everybody good? And then I also have friends who are like from Palestine, and I'm like, y'all good? Like, and like they can sit there and like deal with what's going on and be civil towards each other, knowing that it's not them, it's like their government's beefing. Like, so I think that there's a lot of love inside the community, but the thing that we always noticed was that it always looked more diverse than what it really was. Like, you might look at the leadership and be like, okay, you got like Black people and people from like Africa and people from parts of Southeast Asia. And we would hear what they would be trying to do in the community. It's like, oh, we want to like increase, the number of languages that documentation is translated in. And we would want to like increase the amount of events that are being held in like Black communities and things like that. And the logistics just never made sense. Like, we looked at, I did a keynote in San Diego, and it was like, we looked at the first 10 years of Python versus the second 10 years and where they held these events. And like the first 10 years were like LA, DC, New York, Atlanta. I'm like, oh, y'all got like some black places. Like, that's dope. Like, that's awesome. But then all of a sudden it becomes like Montreal, Salt Lake City, Utah, like Cleveland, which is pretty black, but like it's not places like you would expect. Pittsburgh, things like that. And we're just like, hold on, what happened? Oregon, like what happened in the first decade versus the second? And the thing was how many people were coming to these events and how much it would cost. When you got like 200, 300 people, you can do an event in Atlanta, and it's expensive, but it's not going to like bankrupt you. When you got 3,000 people showing up, you got to book like a conference center, and you're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars at that point. So I had always wanted to go to PyCon US. It's like the largest gathering of Python developers in the world. It was right after COVID, and they were like, the number's going to be a little bit smaller, or the number of people that are going to be there a little bit smaller. We're going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah, because we got contracts and things like that. So I'm like, cool. I can't wait to meet like all these awesome people in the community, like friends that I've met at regional events where there's like 200, 300 people and there's only like 1 or 2 black people. I'm like, cool. There's like a few thousand people here. There's going to be at least like 100 of us, maybe. Like, give me like a solid 50. And like, I counted 12 people, and I was just like, that's like physically counted like on my fingers 12 people, like just, and most of them were working booths, so they were like, I didn't even want to be here, like it's my job to be here. Like, and the ones that weren't working booths, I was like, hey, what brings you to like PyCon US and stuff? They're like, oh, I'm looking for a job. And I'm just like, dang, like, wait, where do you live? And they're like, oh, I live in like Houston. I'm like, what are you doing in Salt Lake City looking for a job if you live in Houston? Like, what kind of, like, that don't make no sense. And I was just sitting there like, it was weird in that I was there because I wanted to be there. Like, I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to just be a part of the community, be a part of the culture. And like everybody else that was there was like, nah, I'm working, like I'm trying to get paid, like either way, either like I've got a job and I'm trying to like keep it, or I'm trying to find that job. And it just like, it made me look at the landscape, and it was like, we do all this lip service, but then we don't do like anything to actually like support the community other than just like saying, oh, we would love it if there were more diverse faces here. So yeah, like, that was the big part of the question. Like you say, like what led me to want to do more, I guess. The second year, there was a concerted effort, especially like in parts of the world, like Brazil, where there was a group of like Brazilian women who basically like coordinated all their travel and stuff so that they could all fly together, travel together, save as much money as possible, and like do all this stuff like Airbnb together and all this other stuff. And that was really interesting to me to just see like, okay, wow, when people like get together and they're like, yo, let's help each other out and do this, you actually start to see change affected. And that year there were like 30 black people. And we had said, you know, a little bit about it. We like talked about it a little bit, like, hey, what can we do to like get more people to come in? Obviously COVID started getting, you know, COVID was less of a big deal at the time. So people were like, all right, like let's do more international travel and stuff like that. So we had more folks from Africa come in. There were still like so few people in the US. And my initial goal was just to be like, yeah, we got to fix this. Like, you got like more people from Africa and South America going to Salt Lake City than people in the US, where it's like significantly cheaper to do. And so we just started a Discord. And again, like no one told me I couldn't, so I did. And like at that point we just jumped in. And originally like it was supposed to be like, let's get people in the US, like black communities in the US, let's get them on, let's get them at these events. And then like the communities in like Latin America and Africa were like, hold on, why are you keeping us out of this? Like, we want to be a part of this too. Let's go. So yeah, we ran the Discord, and I mean, there wasn't that many people in there for the longest. Like 6 months later, we were about to hit like 100 people in the Discord. And then the executive director of the PSF was like, y'all should make this a nonprofit. That way people can give y'all money. That way you can like help people coordinate events and stuff. And I mean, this is the part where I'm saying, like, don't come for me in the chat or whatever, like all my Python friends, like, having done this for 2 years now, 3 years total, the thing we've learned is that y'all just not gonna do it. Like, we give y'all advice, we give you resources, we tell you what you should do, and you're just not gonna do it. So, like, now we've turned all of our interest into how do we just support those local communities directly, instead of trying to get everybody to Pittsburgh for PyCon US or Long Beach for next year. Like, why don't we just make it easier for people in Houston to do an event in Houston, or in New York to do their events in New York, or, you know, same thing with like Salvador, Brazil, and all these other places. Like, we're just going to help y'all do the things where y'all are doing, that way y'all don't have to travel as far. And it becomes less of an importance to, you know, take out a loan and max out credit cards just to get to this event because you think it's going to get you a job, when, like, in reality, it might get one person a job and everyone else is just like, now I'm still broke. Like, what do I do? So that was kind of the goal. Like, that's the goal, and kind of how it evolved over time as just more, as we saw more and more needs and more people wanting to do the thing, like, in their hometown. We're just like, bet, let's just support you doing the thing in your hometown. And, you know, let's build leaders. Let's make it easier for new leaders to come in and have mentorship from people that look like them, people who have their experiences, people who kind of get it. And, you know, here we are. We've few tens of thousands of dollars going into conferences and meetups and workshops and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. That's the plan going forward, is put more leaders in charge so I can relax one day and let everybody else just, you know, sit there and see growth happen and be like, yo, how do I get a part of that?
Can you talk to us about some of the benefits of being a part of your community? Like, what are some maybe resources that you've been able to give that you've seen like great results, or some feedback from people in your community? Or what are 3 tips that you're like, these are something we've shared from our crew that have made a lasting impact?
Funny enough, we just did this blog post, because otherwise I'm not going to remember all of it. Like I said, we just celebrated 2 years, like, last week.
Yeah.
Like last Monday, I think it was. The advice that I gave was, you got to ask for stuff. You know, I did the keynote at PyCon US last year, and I'm sitting there at the keynote, and they're like, I didn't have a single slide about asking for money, and someone came in and was like, you need to ask somebody for some money. You need to, like, let them know that you're raising money. And we were just like, man, if we got like $10,000 at this event, then that will be set. We'll give people a few hundred here, a few hundred there. We raised $20,000 in 2 days, all because of a QR code on a slide. Like, oh, hey, hit this QR code. If you didn't see the QR code, come see us at the booth. And, like, that set us, you know, for all of last year. We've upped the amount that we're giving in grants this year. And at that point, I was just like, oh, bet. All right, so now anytime I'm at an event, I'm just like, QR code, like, that's every time there's going to be a QR code. Like, hey, support Black Python devs. Go to blackpythondevs.com/support. Like, we're an actual nonprofit, so you get the tax-free, like, all that good stuff. I think a lot of people are weird about that. They're like, I feel weird asking people for money, or people are like, people are looking for jobs and now I'm asking them for money. I'm like, yo, if you can go to McDonald's and get you like a Big Mac, like, take half of that money and, like, get you some chicken nuggets instead, and, like, give us $2.50. Like, it's fun. Like, our average donation is like $25, but we've had people who have, like, consistently given like $3 a month. And I'm like, that's awesome. That helps out so much. Y'all don't even know. Like, that $3 a month covers our meetup.com fees to do, like, online meetups and stuff. Or it could cover our Discord fees. Like, we pay for Nitro so that, like, no matter where you're coming at, like, everybody has access to the same level of like Discord presentations and all that good stuff. So,
Oh, sorry, presentations. What are some of, I guess, the presentations that you guys give?
so we do a couple of things. One, we do a thing called Coffee and Code, which is like, I feel bad because there's so many coffee and codes out there. We did not realize that. I was literally drinking coffee, and I was like, "Yo, let's just have a meetup, like Coffee and Code. We'll just rap with each other and figure it out." Like, and it's literally just any question, any like career conversation, technical question. Like, if you got a question, just bring it to you. It's every single Friday. Most Fridays, I should say, like holidays and stuff, kind of put wrenches and stuff. But it's like every single Friday, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, and like we just sit in the Discord. Sometimes I'm just working, and someone will come in and be like, "Oh, what are you working on?" Like, "Oh, I'll show my screen or whatever," and we'll just walk through some code. We talked about like abstract base classes earlier this week, and like I was like, I don't know how we got onto that subject, but somehow we made it. But we were talking about how AI, is going to impact learning and like all that other stuff, and just talking about individual. Like, so we have some resources. We have some partners like O'Reilly Media. Every once in a while, we'll do like a free book giveaway. We have some Python courses that are available for beginners that they can access for free. We got a pretty good relationship with them. We've also got, I think that same community gives us like, I think it's like it's either a 25 or 50% discount or something like that. But a lot of it is just like, my focus is on the leadership, because I think that there's so many black leaders, and it's been the same black leaders for the last like decade. And like you ask everybody's like, "I'm tired. Like got health issues, life issues. Like I'm just trying to like, trying to move into the next stage of my life. I'm over here thinking about like my 401k and like all that other stuff. And meanwhile, I'm got like people who are brand new to like tech and stuff asking me for advice, and I'm like, yo, don't follow my advice. My advice is bad. Like the way that I got to tech was so long and drawn out. Like there's probably much better advice that you can get from someone who probably lives in the same area as you, probably has a similar walk of life, similar background. They could give you actual advice. And for me, it was all about like, how do I find those people and get them in front of the new people? And that's where things like Coffee and Code come in. That's where things like the conversations that happen in the Discord are so important. But I think that's also why it's so important to build leaders. Someone will be like, hey, I want to do this thing. And I'm like, all right, cool, you're in charge. Like, make it happen. And there's like, what? And then they do it and we celebrate it. We're like, oh, good job. See, you did this thing. You had help along the way. Now your role is to teach someone else how to do that. Show someone else, how do you share those resources? How do you get out there and you do it?
You mind telling us about one of those success stories?
Wait. I need to say something real quick.
Sorry.
I need to say something real quick. So first of all, you kind of dropped a gem, right? Because context in terms of like your walk of life and like that matters. And that's something that I don't think has ever been brought up in terms of like giving people advice, right? Your advice is probably better if like your advice ties into people different, right? So if you're from X community and this person is from Y community, it may not be, the advice that they need. So I like that you're basically creating like a professional Tinder. I like that a lot.
I mean, again, y'all make it sound way more fancy than what it is. It's just like, if you come in, you're like, hey, I'm from this country. Usually we have a country chat that's like specifically in there. Shout out to Madagascar. That's like our newest one. Like we got one of the community leaders from the Postgres community in Madagascar. And we're just like, they're like, yeah, we all use Python. And I'm like, bet. Like, y'all share. Like, I can't tell someone who speaks Malagasy to like how to do anything. Like, one, it's a Francophone country. Like French culture is very different. I'm like, yo, we got people from like Cameroon here. So like maybe like that cultural intermingling can work. But at the end of the day, like I keep getting awards for stuff and I'm like, I don't think y'all understand. I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm just like, what, y'all need a channel? Cool, here's a channel. What, y'all need like someone to tell you what not to do? Like, I can do that. I can tell you what our processes look like. If you want to know, like, why do you need to have a plan to do like a small workshop? You know, you and Tiffany, you were talking about like a success story. Great example of this. We had a guy in Harare, Zimbabwe, and he's going to say you didn't say it right. So I'm going to say Zim from now on because apparently I can't say the country's name right. But we had a guy in Zim, and he was like, I want to do this workshop. And he had done most of the work already. I was like, cool, how can we help? And he was like, I really want to get like food. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, we'll send you some money for some food. Like, so that like the people who are attending don't have to like leave the building. Because if they leave, they're not coming back. Like, we've learned that. So we're like, just make sure we got food there. And we were just like, all right, cool. Wait a minute, they're in Zim. All right, America has sanctions against Zim. How do we do that? How do we navigate that? Well, first of all, we checked the sanctions list, and the sanctions are against the Zim like government, not individuals. So we can actively send money to Zim. So like, cool, problem solved, myth dispelled, and we can share that with other people. So now other communities can start donating to other communities in Zim. But then also we're like, all right, how do we get money to Zim? Because that's tough. And we never really found a good solution for that. So what we did, we were just like, all right, I got a friend that's in South Africa. Like, I'm going to send them some money. They're going to go to Zim. They're going to make sure that you got food. And then whatever we're missing on, like, if you're in the U.S., come find me and I got you. And like, we'll be at the same conference at some point. So like, come get me. I'll make sure we're on the up and up there. And he wound up doing like this whole like Python workshop, like a day-long Python workshop. And I was like, hey man, I'm gonna just let you know you should probably run that by some people, like just for like the first time, because you probably know a lot of things and you don't realize how advanced you are until you do it. And then people are looking at you funny because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. So we gave him some space and let him run the workshop. It was like a 4-hour workshop. We let him run it in our community first. And everybody was there just like, all right, act like you know nothing about Python. Like, act like this is your first time learning Python. And he was just like, wow, this has been super valuable. He made a bunch of changes. And then when he does the event goes well. And then like fast forward to this year, we have a guy in Nigeria that's like, I want to do this beginner's workshop. And I'm like, hold on, pause. I got you. Hey, dude from Zim, is your workshop open source? Oh, it is? Bet. All right, cool. Hey, use this. Like, I know that you want to build your own thing, and that's cool and all. But this is your first time putting on an event, and what you don't understand is the logistics behind putting on an event is going to stress you out to the point that you're not going to have any time to focus on the actual content. So take this time and just focus on putting on a good event and let the curriculum be what it is. And if you want to make small adjustments and small tweaks to it down the road, like that's cool. But what we've done is we've taken this thing that was already successful, that we know works, and we've already validated it. And we say, cool, run with this. And now we can help you with making sure your venue's on point, making sure you got catering figured out, making sure that like the people who are helping you feel like they were actually doing something, and that they're rewarded for that. And we can put all that time and energy and effort into doing a good job on those parts so that people want to come back now that we've already proven that we have a good space. And now like we have that as an open source repo in the Black Python devs, like GitHub stuff. So like now anybody that wants to do an event for like beginners, like cool, we've got a thing that you can use as like your curriculum. But we've also got like notes and experience and people, like we have at least 2 people now that have gone from 0 to like beginner's workshop. So like if you want advice in how to do that, especially in places like Nigeria or Zimbabwe and like places like that, cool. We've done that successfully. So now we can show you how to do that successfully. We can show you who to get in touch with. We can give you a good estimation on how much it's going to cost.
That's cool. That's dope.
You have a podcast.
The most non-tech thing here. I do a podcast. We just celebrated 100 episodes this Thursday.
Let's
past
go.
Thursday, 100 episodes.
Awesome.
You know,
You want to take a couple minutes to tell our listeners about your podcast, like what inspired you to start getting in front of the microphone and sharing your voice in the entire spectrum of who you are as a person.
Especially about productivity, because that feels close. That feels close to home.
This is when I tell you how much of a nerd I am. Like, for real though, like the origin story nerdness. This goes back to my grandfather again. My grandfather is like big inspiration in my life, but he used to make me listen to NPR. Like, we'd be going to pick up, like, my grandmother worked at TVA. My grandfather did not work. That's like the one thing that I did not get from him. Like, I work. I love you, granddaddy, but like, for real though, like, get you a job. But like, we would always go like pick up my grandmother from work, and this was like rush hour, middle of the day. This is when NPR would be doing like All Things Considered and all that stuff. So growing up, I wanted to be like a radio host, which I'm loving. Like, y'all got like this Hot 97 vibe like going on, which is dope. Like, y'all just throw some more music on there and you're good. Like, sprinkle the R&B stuff like in the middle of the show, and like, we're gonna take a break. Like, here's this track from Brandy. Like, but like, I always wanted to be on the radio until I figured out how much people on the radio make. And I was like, ooh, that ain't it. And when I got out of the military, I was like struggling, because you got to think, like, I was in the Marine Corps like for 5 years, from like 18 to 23. So I basically had someone to tell me what to do my entire life. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you know, your parents are telling you what to do. You join the military tells you what to do. And then like, I'm in that first job and they're just like, all right, well, here's all your stuff that needs to get done. Have at it. We'll check in on you in a month or so. Like, just, you know, just do your day to day or whatever. And like, I could not deal with the lack of like regimented, like, I don't know, like a regimented schedule. So I was just like, yo, I straight up made a list that was like, I need to do this or I'm gonna get fired. I need to, like, I can hold off on these things. They're not gonna fire me today if I don't do these things. And then like, I could probably like not do these things ever and I probably won't get fired. They probably won't even notice. Like, and later on I was telling someone about that and they were like, oh, that's like the Eisenhower productivity matrix. And I was like, the what? And I was like, I went and looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like the whole do, delegate, defer, and drop or whatever. That whole prioritization thing. So then I got like super into like productivity, because I was like, oh snap, like I'm already doing the things that are like these traditional things. I could just learn more about them and I'll do them better. Turns out that's not the case, because like someone telling you like don't check your phone first thing in the morning. I'm like, man, if you don't get out of here, like I'm gonna check my phone, like. Or people like don't only check email once a day. I was like, I work on a help desk. If I check email once a day, I'm gonna get fired. Like, what are you talking about? And so I started like doing this show called Productivity in Tech, and I ran that show for about like 6-7 years. And it started out just being like super hardcore into productivity and all that stuff, and then eventually it kind of lightened up into being like, you know what? Most people just know. Like I said, most people know what they should be doing. And it's like there's either a disconnect, like you don't want to do it, which I get, or like there's something preventing you from getting it done, whether it's anxiety, whether it's just, you know, again, I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was 28, and I was like, dang, a lot of things made more sense now. Like, I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I could not like figure out a way to just get myself to do it. But then it would be due in like 2 days, and I'd be like, oh, okay, bet, cool. And then I just like lock in and do it real quick, and people are like, all right, good job. And I'm like, oh, so if I just give myself a deadline of, oh, I got to get this done by tomorrow or something, then like all of a sudden I just lock in and do it. But like, no one told me about a technique like that. So then I just started interviewing like whoever I could interview who had like a different thing. I interviewed someone who was a trapeze artist. Like, what does the productivity look like for someone who's like walking a tightrope? Like,
Oh wow.
That's
like
cool.
it's so different. And I was like, oh man, that's like this thing that I do at work. Oh, cool. I can learn from something that they're doing that they just think is like, yeah, that's normal. And for me, I'm like, oh, that's so unique and different. And then eventually I just got tired. Like you just burn out on stuff, like finding guests to interview. Y'all did the right thing. Y'all got like a producer. Shout out to the producers in the room. I'm sure y'all got like editors. Like I've been through y'all got like a really scheduled and regimented. We booked this thing a year ago.
We did.
Like that's how wild it is. I was just like, Jordan told me, she was like, we're already full for the year, but maybe we can get you in like next May. I was like, all right, I was expecting to not get an email. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I'm the producer for Stats on Stats. We got you booked for this time. Is that good? And I'm like, dang, like
Meanwhile, we sent him the questions this morning.
That's fine. That's fine. We did the pre-work though a few weeks ago. Like there was no pre-work for me. Like my show was always, all right, we're going to take like the first 15 minutes before we hit record. And I'm going to be like, let me make sure I got your name right. Let me make sure, like, is there a good intro that you would want me to use for you? You got a bio? Like, all right, here's the things that I was thinking about asking you. Is there something here I shouldn't ask you? Is it like too personal or whatever? All right, bet, let's do it. And then like, just record the show. Like, y'all got it, like, y'all set up for success. Y'all are set up for so much longevity in this show, and I love it. And I'm sure it's stressful still. Like, it still comes with pieces you're just like, oh, I forgot to do that. But yeah, so I started burning out, and then I was like, man, I think what I need is a similar show, but without the like constantly trying to vet guests and like find them and stuff. What if I just had like a consistent co-host? So I just put it out on Twitter. I was like, hey, I'm wanting to do this show where it's like, it's productivity, but we're not taking ourselves too seriously. Like we're not like productivity gurus. We're just, people who got to get stuff done. Like at the end of the day, that's the important part. And my co-host Kathy, she's super dope. She's like executive assistant for hire. She does way more than that though. Like that's not even fair on her. Like she's helping people file taxes, like business taxes and stuff. She's like the CEO for like this like literary like book club community thing that's been running for like 20 something years. Like she does so much stuff, and we're like polar opposites, and it works super well because like she's the one that cares about everybody, and I'm the one that's like, all right, yeah, I hear you, but also I'm gonna need you to like do better. So she's like, it's okay. I'm like, nah, it's not okay. Fix it. Like, you can do this. And, we call it Conduit because, we're both from the era where, like, the Water Boy was super influential in our lives. Like, the guy screaming, you can do it. Like, we literally, like, that is how the show was named. We play into the whole like conducting electricity and conductors and stuff. So our patrons are called superconductors. Our bonus show is called Superconductor. We're on Relay FM.
Okay.
It's been super dope. But like the two things that I think that led to getting to 100 episodes, and we're not stopping. We got like 100 more at least in us. Like, was we're never afraid to talk about the same topic more than once. Because life changes. So your thoughts, your viewpoints on things can change. We never take ourselves way too serious. Like there's like running jokes. Like I'm not a big Disney fan, but I got a 7 or 6 year old. So like naturally I've seen every single Disney movie there is. So she's always like, you hate Disney, but you always have these great Disney references. And I was like, I don't like this about myself either, but like there's no reason to bring it up. I love baseball. She hates all sports. Like, so, and we just make stuff up, like straight up. We're just like, all right, here's like a productivity technique that you can deploy, like get you a plant. And every time you got to water that plant, think about what you're going to do for the day. And the cool thing is like if you forget to do it, guess what? That plant's going to die, right? So,
You feel
so
attacked.
It's a whole tree.
I'm just saying, like, you start like all of a sudden you're like, man, I hadn't really stopped and thought about what I need to. Oh crap, I got to get that. Like,
We saw
It all-
leaves falling the other day. I was like,
oh man, you should probably also put the plant in like ready, like in your view. That way you see it every day. That way you can be like, oh yeah, you probably do need. I need to water that.
Oh
Like,
no, she sees it every day.
wow. All right, we gotta come on, get to the rapid fire.
Yeah.
We gotta wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up now. We
Let's
gotta
go.
wrap it up. So yeah, that's it. It's an accountability podcast. Like the thing that we do that I think everyone kind of warned us about, like not to do, was every single week we talk about something that we were going to do in the last 2 weeks, and then we end the show talking about what we're going to do in the next 2 weeks. But then the other thing that we do is we also let our audience tell us what they're going to do in the next 2 weeks, and we recap with what they did. And everyone's like, oh man, what if you get like 1 million people? I was like, that is a good problem to have that we have not had to deal with in 100 episodes. I think we'll be all right. Like, it's going to be fine. But the thing that we've seen that is so amazing about that is we've watched people plan their weddings, like have kids, buy houses. We had someone write a book, and like we got to watch them as they're like 2 weeks at a time, chapter by chapter, like publishing this book. And then getting to meet everybody. We did a live show in London last year, and or not a live, we were a part of a live show in London, but like getting to meet some of the people in the crew that had like the branded t-shirts and stuff. And a lot of people were just like, I didn't think that I was capable of doing this. I didn't have a job. I struggled with this. I struggled with, making friends or whatever. And like just having someone take it 2 weeks at a time and just chat with us, give us a little bit of motivation to run us through the weeks, but just take it 2 weeks at a time. Like we've seen people's lives. I mean, I think they would have did it without us, but like we at least got to be on the ride of it. We at least got to watch them, like watch somebody get their master's degree, get married, and like start a family and start a career. Like that's one person that we've seen all of that growth in them in 4 years, and just being like, dang, like we go back to like episode 1, you're just like, homework's due, gotta get that test in, and now they're like family planning and like all this stuff and talking about like changing careers. I was like dang, watching people grow up like in real time is super dope, and seeing it in ourselves too. Like my kid went from 3 to almost 7. She'll be 7 in a couple months, and I'm just like, I have changed jobs 3 times. My kid has started school. So many things have happened. I'm just like, this is awesome. If anything, it's just a catalog of just all that stuff happening. But we just show up for the people, man. That's all I do. Is I just show up for my people, help them out, be helpful where I can, but most importantly, connect them to other people who are probably better at it than I am. And just get on the radio, run my mouth for a little bit, and then go, all right, we'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.
He's won a Nickelodeon Choice Award,
Come
Teen
on.
Choice
I
Award,
have not.
nominated for a
I'm not.
Grammy.
No, that's Bow Wow. That ain't me.
Well, we'll say not now, but let's fast forward then, right? And think about when your grandson is talking about the influence that you had in his life. What are some things that you want him to be able to say, like, this is what my grandfather was able to accomplish with his organization, at work, and in his life, and this is why I'm continuing to go on with the torch.
This is rapid fire, by the way. Anthony's charging
I was
us
like,
every minute
dang.
after this now.
Yeah. I'm just, to be honest, I just wanted to say, like, no, he never told me I couldn't. Like, that's the thing. Like I said, I told people this in Chicago. No one ever said that I couldn't do this. And the ones that did say, like, you won't be this or you won't do this, like, I did it in spite of them. Like, so just I hope that kid, like, one, knows that I love him, even if they don't go into tech or whatever. Like, they don't do the thing, they don't follow in my footsteps. That's cool, but like, I would hope that they know. I'll put it this way. When I told my grandfather, hey, I got this job at Microsoft, my grandfather responded in the best way possible, which was like, when the hell did you become so cool? And I was just like, I want my grandkid to like have that moment in whatever it is they're doing. Like, I want them to just know that like their grandfather thinks that they're like the coolest kid possible. Also, let's not talk about grandkids. My child is like 6 right now.
His life flashed before
Boys are still gross right now.
Yeah, don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Love it.
Okay. We got to talk about what keeps you grounded. So,
But we got to hurry up about what keeps you grounded.
there she
That
goes.
little girl. I'm surprised she hadn't come up here yet. I've said her name and I've mentioned her enough times. Usually she'll try to sneak in, but I tell people like I rarely close the door in my office to like let her come in and just see what doing a job. This wasn't a job. Like DevRel was not an industry. Like I guess developer evangelism was, but like growing up where I grew up, I knew 0 developer evangelists, developer advocates, or whatever. So just exposing her to so many different things, different careers, different ideas. Also, she gets real upset when I travel. So not getting over my skis on that, not trying to be gone, you know. And like shout out to my wife too. Like my wife is also like they're here holding it down when I'm you know touring all over the world and stuff. And they're just like, I hate it. I want you here. When are you coming home? And I'm like, all right, I got you. Receive. Like, I'm gonna cut it back. And I've done that. Like, there's definitely been like parts of my career where I was like, man, I just want to go every time I get the chance. And now I'm like, what's the like 3 events that I can go to that are going to make a big impact? And then like everything else after that, we got to figure out a way to bring my family with me, because otherwise it ain't gonna happen. So yeah, like they keep me grounded. Like this lifestyle that I've been able to provide for them is super dope, but also like it keeps me up at night, because if I ever lose that job, then I'm like, now we struggling. So like just trying to make sure that you were doing all the right things to keep it moving.
Love that.
You got any additional questions? You ready or good to go?
I'm broke, so no, I don't have any more questions.
Come on.
I don't have not another question, but what I would love is at some point, probably in 2026, for you to come back, because I feel like there's a lot of questions we have for you that we didn't get to ask. But with that said, I'm supposed to thank you here. So thank you so much.
Thank you for remembering who I was, even when I showed out and didn't.
It's
But I couldn't
okay.
reciprocate that.
It's
I
fine.
promise you, had you not been over here trying to like take my headphones from me, I probably would have remembered who you were. But
It's okay. I met Usher one time. I'm sure he doesn't remember me either, so I get it. So thank you. Endless gratitude for you coming, spending some time with us. Like I said, I definitely hope we get to talk to you again, because we have a lot more questions.
yeah,
Absolutely.
anytime.
Glad to have you here. For our listeners, would you be interested in sharing your information in case they have additional questions or want to know more about?
Yeah. Getting in touch with me is hard. Intentionally now, because I guess if you're doing Python things, join Black Python Devs. You can go to blackpythondevs.com. There's a link to the Discord. If you're not doing Python things, you can still join. Like, it's fine. Like, we're not gonna shame you. Like, if you do JavaScript stuff, we might laugh a little bit, but like, it's cool. Yeah, blackpythondevs.com. Join the Discord. I'm hanging out in there a lot. KJMiller.com. That's KJAYMiller.com. I talk about whatever I want to talk about. I don't care about analytics. I don't care about numbers. You're going to get. I wrote a blog post called "Shut Up and Dribble." Like, I was feeling a kind of way, and I was mad, and I was like, "Ooh, this reminded me of that one time." So like,
He also wrote a blog post that basically said, if you use AI to write blog posts, you suck.
I mean, that's not what I said. I don't disagree. I said if you're writing a personal blog and AI is doing all the writing, it ain't really a personal blog, is it? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, but yeah, so that's the blog. Follow up. I'm always talking about stuff on there. check out Conduit. Honestly, the easiest way to get in touch with me is to listen to Conduit. We got a link that's like a feedback thing that immediately goes to our email. So if you just want to be like, hey, cool show, whatever, like relay.fm/conduit. Yeah, that's kind of it. You might catch me at a Python conference or a Postgres conference. I'm doing a lot of Postgres stuff nowadays. So I'm going to be in Chicago for PGConf New York. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh in a few weeks. This will probably be out after PyCon US. So that's fine. Catch me at a PyCon event, out here, self-care sprinting. Oh, last piece of advice. Men, stop being stupid. Take care of your feet. Go get you a pedicure. I promise you. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Get you a massage. Get you a pedicure. Take care of yourself. Stop acting like some fools.
That's great advice.
I every time I go to an event, I'm like, yo, self-care sprint. Who's going to the spa with me? And like people are like, oh, man, you get a pedicure? I'm like, hey, one thing I learned in the Marine Corps, you only get 2 sets of feet. And they're the first things to go. You let that type 2 diabetes hit you, them feet going to be the first thing to go. So take care of your feet.
Wow.
That escalated quickly.
Go get therapy, take care of your family, and take care of your feet. Like,
Boom.
Straight up.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank you again for joining us. And for everyone else who is listening to the Stats on Stats podcast, we, as always, are glad that you're here, enjoying this journey with us, and I guess we'll see you next time.
My Cash App is Jordan Short. That's JOR.
Hey, you already learned. You're doing the thing.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all. Stay wavy.